want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Trump had just begun addressing the unusual mammoth crowd that had gathered on the afternoon of Saturday, July 13th in Pennsylvania, when an unsuspecting, scruffy-looking man in his 20s decided to take out a family frustration on the presidential aspirant. Squatting at least 100 yards away and without putting much thought into what he was about to do, the scruffy-looking man released his personal grudge from the mouth of a semi-automatic AR rifle, and it flew straight up the podium, scraping the former president on the right ear, just as he was about to begin another sentence. But not long had this man fired the shot had he been spotted and taken out by a Secret Service sniper on site. The scruffy-looking shooter, later identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20, had set himself up on a roof in Butler, Pennsylvania, in an attempt to assassinate Trump. Crooks is said to have fired a number of shots from what is reportedly an AR-15 style rifle from more than 100 yards away.
Gunfire set off panic, and a bloodied Trump, who said he was shot in the ear, was surrounded by Secret Service, hurried to his SUV, and whisked away to safety.
The gunman would have killed Trump if his aim had been even a fraction of the precision it lacked. According to Trump, one bullet slightly cut his right ear. His ear was bleeding profusely, and he was left dazed as a result. Trump raised his hand near the stairs and muttered the words, "Fight, fight," in defiance before the Secret Service could remove him from the platform.
Shaq, still an active scene there behind you, and the FBI has no shortage of tips already?
That's right, Tom, and the FBI is working to put together a timeline of Crooks' actions before the shooting and say they already have received more than 2,000 tips.
Unfortunately, the incident claimed the lives of one person and wounded two more. The dead person was identified by Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro at a press conference on Sunday as 50-year-old volunteer fire chief Corey Comparatore, who was slain when he dived on his family in order to protect them. In the governor's words, Comparatore died a hero.
In the community. I asked Corey's wife if it would be okay for me to share that we spoke. She said yes. She also asked that I share with all of you that Corey died a hero. That Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us.
News from the White House has it that President Joe Biden did the right thing, despite calls to resign from several Democratic leaders, media outlets, and the majority of the electorate. Biden conveyed his relief that Trump was secure and in good condition in a statement, saying, "I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally." It seems that for a brief moment, Biden put aside his disagreements with Trump and his conviction that the election will determine important issues regarding the nature and destiny of the nation.
The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well.
This was Biden's singular error in judgment, if only that were accurate. However, this wasn't the first time someone attempted to assassinate Donald Trump on campaign grounds. At a Trump event in 2016, 19-year-old Michael Sanford once attempted to kill the former president by reaching for an officer's rifle. Later on, Michael admitted to the Secret Service that he had come for an autograph, but took advantage of an opportunity that presented itself. What a deadly opportunity that was.
In Casino, a young man approached a police officer stationed at the event and asked for an autograph. Then, without warning, the man went for the officer's gun, trying to take it away, only to be quickly subdued. Authorities now say that Michael Sanford, 19, allegedly told the Secret Service that this was an attempt to kill.
In a bid to provide a more detailed description of what happened during Saturday's incident, Crooks had taken up his position on the roof of a manufacturing facility, around 130 yards away from the stage. He then aimed the rifle squarely and released the nudge. That was when the counter-sniper team returned fire from the top of an adjacent building, just beyond the audience stands. Officials said that the attacker, a 20-year-old kitchen worker, was instantly killed by a Secret Service sniper. Crooks worked in the kitchen of a nearby nursing home, only a short drive from his house. Neighbours from his residence are still in disbelief, not understanding how a reserved young man could go as far as being responsible for such a disaster.
He'd sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever.
It's a quiet neighborhood, and what goes on in everybody's homes, we just don't know. You know, what people are going through in their own life, we just don't.
During a Sunday briefing, FBI officials informed reporters that they were still unsure of the gunman's motivation for opening fire from a neighbouring rooftop, which resulted in the death of one spectator and the serious injuries of two more before the Secret Service fired and killed him. The FBI stated that although they think the gunman acted alone, they were unsure at first of the type of handgun used or the number of rounds fired.
Two officials telling NBC News that law enforcement found a number of suspicious canisters or containers in the suspect's vehicle near the rally, but say it's unclear if they were functional explosive devices.
One witness later revealed that moments before hearing the shot, he had seen a guy, who was later identified as Crooks, carrying a gun on a building's roof. Since Thomas Crooks did not have identification on him after getting killed, the detectives had to identify him using face recognition software and DNA. Looking further into it, a local newspaper reads that Crooks graduated in 2022 from Bethel Park High School with a $500, 385 pounds, prize for math and science. What a brainy one there! He was from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, which is located around 70 kilometers, 43 miles, away from the scene of the attempted assassination. According to US media, state voting records indicate that he was a registered Republican. Additionally, it is said that in 2021, he gave $15 to the leftist political organization Act Blue. He had also been a member of the Clairton Sportsman's Club, a local shooting club, for a minimum of 1 year. But here's one other shocking piece of evidence that the FBI is still trying to connect to the assailant's motive behind the shot. Law enforcement officers investigating the incident believe Crooks's father bought the gun that was used to shoot Donald Trump. It was even confirmed by two unnamed cops that Crooks's father had bought a gun 6 months ago.
The AR-15 style rifle recovered at the scene was legally purchased by the suspect's father in 2013. The Pentagon confirming Crooks has no apparent military affiliation.
We do not currently have an identified motive, although our investigators are working tirelessly to attempt to identify what that motive was.
And like many are asking, the FBI should also do a thorough investigation to determine what made the elder Crooks purchase the said firearm and why he possibly left it where the assailant could get access to it. For what we know, this looks like a well-premeditated crime. But like any other parent, Matthew Crooks cannot believe this is happening. Following the identification of his son as the target of the assassination attempt on former President Trump, Thomas Crooks's father stated he is still trying to understand what the hell is going on. In an excuse to wait until I talk to law enforcement, Matthew Crooks refused to provide any information about his son and delayed commenting on the horrifying incident. While we can't imagine the horror and shock this outcome has had on the Crooks family, it seems Trump's family on the other end is having a field day out of it. Rather than expressing shock at their father's near-death experience, Trump's children instead expressed triumph. With an image of his father, fist raised, face bruised, and the Secret Service around him, along with the American flag in the background, Donald Trump Jr. posted on social media, "He'll never stop fighting to save America." Others, including members of Congress in office, raced to share identical or comparable images on social media before teaming up with Trump aides to criticize the first media reports, which, unsurprisingly, was circumspect in characterizing such a breathtaking incident in the hours following the shooting. Senator J.D. Vance, a possible running mate for Trump, also stated, The Biden campaign's central premise is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. He continued, that rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Trump's team believed that Biden's team had plotted this attack. But this was hours before forensics connected the incident to 20-year-old Thomas Crooks. The thing is, in political campaigns, symbolism frequently has greater significance than content, and perception often solidifies into reality very quickly. The image that people will remember of this election, and maybe his whole political career, will probably be the photos and videos of Trump raising his fist to the crowd. Prior to the disastrous debate with President Biden last month, Trump had campaigned on a message of strength, presenting himself as a formidable political opponent to the elderly and feeble incumbent. Trump will receive a hero's welcome at next week's Republican convention, coupled with an audience appropriate for a party leader who had a close shave with death. And as projected by longtime GOP strategist Mike Murphy, the raised fist will become the iconic symbol of Trump's convention and administration.